Ever stand on the court and it's just one of those days?
You mean when the serve's doing the wave?
Exactly. Forehands all over the place. You're playing the tennis equivalent of the Macarena, and let's be honest, not winning any dance contests. Well, get ready to embrace those B-game days because we're diving deep into how to win even when you're not at your best.
I love this. So often we get caught up in chasing that perfect A game, that mythical state where everything just clicks. But the reality is...
That A-game is a total unicorn.
Right. And this excerpt really nails it, asking us how often everything in our game is firing on all cylinders simultaneously.
Honestly, for me, it's like spotting a shooting star, maybe once a season if I'm lucky.
Exactly. This excerpt reminds us that consistent peak performance, it's just not realistic for most of us. Even the pros have off days.
They make it look so easy, though.
They're masters of disguise. What sets them apart is not that they never have bad days, but how they handle those B-game moments.
It's that mental resilience. And speaking of mental game, this excerpt is brutal. It talks about how just believing you can't win on a B-game day becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Oh, it's true. You think you'll lose, so you put in less effort, play more cautiously.
You'd end up losing. It's like the tennis version of a voodoo doll.
It's that negative cycle in action. Belief influences actions, actions influence outcomes, and then bam, the outcome reinforces the belief. But here's the good news.
We can break the spell.
Exactly. If we can get stuck in a negative cycle, we can create a positive one too.
By changing our beliefs about our B game. And you know what really hammers this home? Coco Gauff's recent win. The excerpt about her. Wow, it's like a masterclass in mental toughness. She wins a whole tournament not playing her best tennis.
And it's not just the win, it's what she said afterwards. You're not going to win Grand Slams hitting your A game every time. That really struck me.
Right, because it's easy to think the pros are superhuman, immune to off days, but they're not.
Nope. It's how they adapt and overcome that matters.
So how do we do that? How do we channel our inner Coco and turn those B-game days into wins?
This excerpt to the rescue again, with some really practical tips.
Like focusing on what IS working, right? My serve might be a disaster, but hey, my backhand is rock solid today. Time to make that backhand my best friend.
I love that. Focusing on what you can control, your effort, your strategy. That's powerful.
This excerpt also talks about treating each point like a mini battle, which I think is brilliant because then you're not getting bogged down in the whole I'm playing terribly narrative.
Exactly. It's about staying present.
And they even give us this great reset phrase, next battle. Like, okay, that one's done, let's move on.
It's like hitting the mental refresh button.
So to sum it all up, it seems like winning tennis, resilient tennis, it's not about never having an off day.
It's about what you do when those off days inevitably arrive.
You've got to make friends with your B game.
Absolutely. Because none of us are immune to those my serve is doing the Macarena days.
So true. And you know what this excerpt got me thinking about? It focuses on pushing through, but there's a fine line between pushing through and needing to rest and recover. That's something for all of us to consider. How do we know when to fight another point?
And when to call it a day and live to fight another match.
Exactly. There's a whole other deep dive in that question.